I'm Nancy Showalter, and you're listening to Spirituality for the Politically Incorrect podcast. Welcome, all radical paradigm shifters and creative change makers. You who dare to create a better life and a better world. Tap into the power that resides within you and use that power for constructive change. Hello and welcome to today's episode. It's okay to be rich. Now, I know you might be thinking, what a strange topic to be talking about when we have such inflation right now, food prices, gas prices. Everything is really stretching many people with their budgets and their spending power. But in reality, I think even now is probably the very best time to talk about this. I wrote a book a few years ago called It's Okay to Be Rich. And so I want to do a little series on some of the mindset and some of the techniques and the teachings from this book. I'd like to begin by posing a question. What does it mean to you to be rich? It's something to think about. Is it how much money you have in your account? Is it being able to do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it? Exactly what is it that would make you rich? Have you given thought to this? I mean, if you were to survey 100 folks just walking down the street, if they'd like to be rich, most of them, if not all, would probably chuckle and say they sure would, not really believing it's possible for them. Yet when you ask them, what exactly would that mean? Most of them have never given it a thought, other than they just like to be better off than what they currently are. So have you given it a thought, specifically? Because being rich means a lot of different things to people. And it's true that some people don't want to be rich. Yes, they'd like more money and easier lifestyle, but when you use the word rich, they reject the idea because of their negative beliefs about rich people or what it means to be a rich person. Many say, I don't need to be rich, believing that it would just mean they're being greedy. I just want to have enough to live a comfortable life. And then you have to ask, well, what does that mean? What is a comfortable life? To some, it's having food, shelter, and clothing in some countries, some cultures. To others, it's being a millionaire or more. So what makes you rich? Take a close look at your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs that are creating your current reality now. Look at your beliefs about money, about being rich and living an abundant life. Here's the truth. Most of us do not give ourselves permission to be rich. Therefore, we sabotage ourselves and we never really achieve the rich life that could be ours. Major changes in your life require you to make a decision. Let me share an experience I had very early in my life that made a huge impact on me and taught me the power of decision. When I was young and establishing my own identity separate from my parents, I vividly remember talking to a mentor, much older and wiser man than I was at the time, about how I did not want to be like my mother. Now, don't get me wrong, my mother was a wonderful person. I loved her very much. In fact, we were very close. But you know how it is? You don't like some of the things your parents do, and you declare that when you grow up, you'll not be like them. And then as you begin to grow up, you find yourself doing the same things. Well, that's how it was for me at the time. And I was quite emphatic in my declaration, going on. And after patiently listening to me for a while, this wiser and more mature man looked at me, calmly held out his right arm with his palm down, and asked, "You don't want to be like your mother?" "No," I answered. Then, turning his arm up so that his palm was up, he calmly said, "Then don't be like your mother." And wow, at that moment, I was speechless, with thoughts racing through my head. Who or what was keeping me from being different than my mother? The answer was, and it still is, no one. All I needed to do was make the decision to be who I wanted to be instead of focusing upon and resisting who I did not want to be. Making a decision is like putting a stake in the ground. This is the way it is. So at that moment, I learned that whatever I want in life is what I need to focus on, not what I don't want. So this is our lesson today, to contemplate, what does it mean to be rich? What does an abundant life mean to you? Not just financially, but in every area of your life. And are you focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want? Because we don't manifest things by just eliminating the negatives. We manifest things by focusing, visualizing, stepping into the reality of what we want. So that is lesson number 1 on It's Okay to Be Rich. I'll see you next week. Until then, keep an open mind, a generous heart, and a powerful spirit. Thank you for being with me today, and if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, download, and comment. I'd love to hear from you, and your support is much appreciated. And don't forget to go to theawakeningnow.com for free bonuses and information on my new book, You Were Born to Be a Christ, But You Were Taught You Are a Sinner. Awaken to who you really are. See you next week.